This is a summary of an audio event with the weird ones with the title The Resilience Rendezvous. The weird ones learning from life's lows. Life throws curveballs. It happens to all of us. Resilience isn't about avoiding the tough times. It's about facing them head on. It's about learning, growing, and coming out stronger on the other side. The Weird Ones isn't just a name, it's a badge of honor. It represents a group of people who embrace their individuality. They celebrate their differences. They understand that being weird is what makes them special. This community thrives on shared experiences. They gather not to judge, but to support. They meet to learn from each other's journeys. The Weird Ones believe that in vulnerability, there is strength. In sharing our stories, we find healing and connection. At the heart of this community is the understanding that life's lows are not failures. They are opportunities. Opportunities for growth, for self-discovery, and for building resilience. By embracing the difficult times, by leaning on each other, the Weird Ones discover the power within. This is a glimpse into their world. A world where vulnerability is celebrated and resilience is a shared journey. This is the Resilience Rendezvous, the Weird Ones learning from life's lows. Life can feel like a relentless cycle sometimes. We build ourselves up only to face setbacks that knock us back down. One member of the Weird Ones knows this cycle all too well. They shared their story of recurring losses, jobs lost, relationships ended, even homes left behind. Each loss brought its own wave of grief, disappointment, and uncertainty. It would be easy to get lost in the cycle of loss, to feel defeated by the recurring blows. But this Weird One found a lifeline in the community. They discovered that within the group, vulnerability wasn't weakness, it was a shared language. Sharing their story openly, without judgment, allowed them to process the pain and find strength in the shared experience. The community became a source of support and encouragement, reminding them that they weren't alone in their struggles. Through the shared stories and the genuine empathy of the group, they began to see their losses from a different perspective. They realized that sometimes loss is a redirection, a clearing of the path for something new to emerge. With each loss, they learned the art of letting go, of releasing the need to control the outcome and trusting that even in the midst of uncertainty, there was a path forward. They discovered that true strength isn't about avoiding loss, but learning to navigate it with grace, resilience, and the unwavering support of their community. Trauma leaves its mark. It shapes our perceptions, our reactions, and our relationships. Another member of the Weird Ones bravely shared their story of facing trauma at a young age. They spoke of the feeling of being unsafe, of carrying the weight of that experience with them for years. It was a burden that impacted every aspect of their life. For years, they carried the trauma silently, afraid to share their story for fear of judgment or disbelief. But finding the Weird Ones was a turning point. Within the safe and supportive space of the community, they found the courage to break their silence. Sharing their story, they discovered the power of being heard and understood. The community rallied around them, offering empathy, validation, and a sense of belonging. They realized that they weren't defined by their trauma. They were survivors. They discovered that healing from trauma is not a linear process. It's a journey filled with ups and downs. But through it all, they learned to find strength in their vulnerability, to embrace their story as a part of who they are, and to use their experience to connect with and support others who had walked a similar path. We all experience the world in our own unique ways. For individuals who are neurodivergent, this uniqueness can sometimes feel like a barrier, especially in a world that often prioritizes conformity. One Weird bravely shared their journey of navigating life with ADHD, a path fraught with challenges, particularly during times of heightened stress. They spoke candidly about their struggles with focus, organization, and emotional regulation, experiences often exacerbated by the pressures of daily life. Simple tasks could feel overwhelming, leading to feelings of frustration, inadequacy, and isolation. For years, they tried to conform, to fit into a mold that didn't quite suit them, leaving them feeling like they were constantly falling short. But within the weird ones, they discovered the power of acceptance, not just from others, but from themselves. The community provided a safe and understanding space to embrace their neurodiversity, to see their differences not as deficits, but as strengths. They learned to celebrate their unique way of thinking, their creativity, and their ability to see the world from a different perspective. With the support of the group, they discovered coping mechanisms and strategies that worked for them, learning to manage their energy, prioritize self-care, and advocate for their needs. They found that by embracing their authentic selves, they could navigate the world with greater confidence and resilience. Trauma has a ripple effect. It can echo through generations, impacting individuals long after the initial event occurred. The weird ones delved into this complex and often overlooked aspect of healing, recognizing that many of their struggles were rooted in inherited pain. One member shared their experience of growing up with a legacy of their family's history of displacement and loss. They spoke of carrying the weight of their ancestors' pain, the unspoken stories, and the unresolved grief that seemed to permeate their family dynamics. For years, they struggled to understand the root of their own anxieties and fears, feeling stuck to a past they hadn't lived through. The weird ones provided a safe and supportive environment to unpack these intergenerational wounds. Through shared stories and open dialogues, they began to recognize the patterns of behavior, the coping mechanisms, and the unspoken rules that had been passed down through generations. They discovered that they weren't alone in their experiences. Many others carried similar burdens, their lives shaped by the traumas of their ancestors. With this newfound awareness, they began the journey of healing, not just for themselves, but for their families and future generations. As the stories unfolded, a common thread emerged: the transformative power of owning one's narrative. Each member, in their own way, had found the courage to step into their truth, to embrace their experiences, both the highs and the lows, as integral parts of their journey. They discovered that true resilience wasn't about erasing the difficult parts of their stories or pretending they didn't happen. It was about acknowledging their struggles, honoring their pain, and integrating those experiences into a larger narrative of growth and resilience. Through sharing their stories, they reclaimed their power, shifting from feeling defined by their circumstances to becoming the authors of their own lives. Owning their stories wasn't always easy. It required vulnerability, self-compassion, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. But within the supportive embrace of the weird ones, they found the safety and encouragement to embark on this transformative journey. They learned that by speaking their truths, they not only liberated themselves from the weight of unspoken burdens, but also created space for others to do the same. Their vulnerability became a source of strength, inspiring others to step into their own authenticity and embrace the power of their own stories. The Resilience Rendezvous wasn't just about sharing stories. It was about fostering connection. It was about creating a space where individuals who often felt like outliers, like they didn't quite fit in, could come together and find belonging. In the safety of this shared space, walls crumbled, masks came off, and hearts opened. The weird ones discovered that true resilience wasn't something they had to cultivate in isolation. By sharing their experiences, both the painful and the triumphant, they created a web of support, a safety net woven from empathy, understanding, and shared humanity. They learned that asking for help wasn't a sign of weakness, but a testament to their strength. The Resilience Rendezvous became a reminder that even in our weirdness, we are stronger together. It was a celebration of the human spirit's capacity for growth, healing, and connection. It proved that even in the face of adversity, we can find solace, strength, and a sense of belonging. The event was a call to action, an invitation to use our voices to create a world where everyone feels seen, heard, and valued for the unique individuals they are. The journey continues, and the weird ones lead the way, one story, one act of courage, one unmuted voice at a time.